We see relationships and empires and enterprises, they amass hugely in your vortex before you gather your first dollar or put your first nail in your first board. In other words, the bigness of it has happened long before you start offering your action. And it is a rather normal thing. It doesn't have to be, but it's a rather normal thing that once you get into the physical involvement of the manifestation of this thing that you've been dreaming about, that what you're observing could then compromise the clarity of your vibration and bog you down. Those are good words. I feel bogged down because you are vibrationally bogged down.
Exactly.
But what you want to do is regroup and acknowledge that, you see, through the contrast that you were living before, you couldn't dream the dream big enough or specific enough to carry you forevermore. So it's logical that you dreamed it big enough to get it started, and now the living of it gives you contrast that causes you to dream it more and dream it more.
Exactly. I mean, I dreamed it so big, and I got it so big, and now I'm having trouble handling it.
Well, you could say it in a different way. You could say, I'm having a little bit of difficulty keeping up with the momentum of all of it, but I know that I have the ability to get in sync with the momentum of it. Momentum is the best word that we can offer in a conversation about vibration, because your point of attraction causes momentum. So you brought momentum that was working for you, but now that you're in the throes of the reality, your attention to unwanted things is causing some of that momentum too. So there's a sort of momentum clashing. What is wanted and what is unwanted is sort of clashing. And so you just have to, we're not kidding, withdraw your attention from the parts that you do not want. And when you do, the resolutions and the solutions will occur to you. Okay. You want to talk some specifics?
No, I don't. There's not so many specifics. It's just overall.
All right, then we want to give you something else, because we can feel we haven't really reached you in the vibrational way that we want to. And those of you who are listening in are understanding this and resonating with this too. It's sort of like an early analogy that we offered is that you live in a house and it's really not a very nice house, and it's not where you want it to be, and it causes you to want a house. And anything would really be better than where you are, and so that's what you get. Something that's better than where you were. But it's still crappy. And so you're not done. So it's not like you only had one shot at getting to where you want to be forevermore. You just got there, and now you're regrouping and exploring more contrast. And so it's a very common thing to, especially if you're looking for income, and especially if you're looking for business enterprise, it's a very common thing to, before you have anything to push against, to get pure in your place of attracting that, and then to be standing in the middle of a lot of responsibility. So then you begin feeling overwhelmed, and that feeling of overwhelmment is the feeling of blocking the energy that's flowing.
Exactly what's happening.
So what you want to do is go general with it and say, in the same way that this business was inspired to me and through me, the solutions for accomplishing it with ease and joy are coming too. And I just need to chill out a little, because here's something that we see for sure with you and with a lot of others, and with Esther too at times. You get so busy being busy that you don't do the basics. Exactly. You don't do the things that really matter. Esther used to say to Jerry all the time, I don't have time to meditate.
Exactly.
And we used to rumble the heavens in laughter over that. There's no heavens and there's no rumble, but we laughed a lot. Well, there's no laughing, but you know what we mean. We thought that was a very funny thing. I don't have time to do the only thing that works.
I had so much time to get aligned to make this happen, and it happened, and now I'm getting so bogged down and so worried. And
but you still have to you have to find that time.
Yeah.
You have to find that time, because when you are bogged down, you're not making anything productively happen
and that's
anyway.
what's happening.
So you might as well just pull yourself away in an attitude of, I'm just going to give myself some relief and release. So here's some questions for you. Do you accept that you are the creator of your own reality? Some of these are easier than others.
I do.
Do you accept that your business, as it exists in your vortex, we really like this question.
Okay.
We're just going to savor it for a minute.
Okay.
Do you accept that your business that is in your vortex, that your vibrational reality business is bigger, more profitable, and way more fun, way bigger than the business that you have so far allowed to actualize?
I do.
All right, so this is a really, so since the vortex version is still not realized, is it logical that part of what's not been realized by you are the people that will make it happen with ease? In other words, there is more for you to allow to flow into your experience that's going to give you the fulfillment of that bigger, more satisfying picture than what you're living so far. Because the way you presented it to us, it sounded like this: Abraham, I wanted this business, and I did really good at lining up with it, and I got it, and now I don't know what to do with it. And we would say instead, Abraham, I wanted this business, and it was really big and really wonderful in lots of ways, and I got part of it because I lined up pretty good with it, but there's a whole lot more that I still have to line up with. But now I'm in the middle of it. I'm not doing as good a job of lining up with it as I was, but I wasn't in the middle of it. And we would say that to you relative to relationships too. In other words, when you're in the middle of them, so I want a relationship and I get a relationship, and then I don't realize that it's a growing, evolving thing. Your relationship with your business is a growing, evolving thing. Every day you make it bigger, and every day you have the personal responsibility, isn't the perfect word, but it sort of kind of gets in the direction of what we want to go. You have the personal responsibility of lining up with the biggerness that it has become, you see. So it isn't that you created a business and you got it and then it went off. It's that you still haven't really lined up with the bigness of everything that you've put there. And we say this, you're going to like this. Sometimes we say to people, well, you collected a little data and you knew what you wanted and you got it, and then you got more data to create more. And then you got that, and then you got more contrast and data to create more. That's not what we're saying to you. We're saying to you, you put a whole lot more in your vortex to begin with than you have yet figured out how to let in. And the factor that is tripping you up is your attention to what other people are doing or not doing.
It's exactly right.
Where if you will just focus upon what you are doing. In other words, it's all vibration, it's all vibration, it's all vibration, it's all vibration. It's all vibration, it's only vibration, it's only vibration, it's only vibration. It's your vibrational relationship with your vision. It's your vibrational relationship with your vision. And everything else will have to come into compliance with it, provided you don't let what you're observing fracture and shatter your vibration.
And I know that because that's what brought me to this point.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure it brings me to the next point. And that's where I got blocked.
That makes it easy because you've already been there and you've already done it, so you know exactly what to do.
I do.
But we acknowledge it is easier to do it in the clear space of less stuff going on around you.
Right.
That's why
and I just want to make sure to do it again, to keep it going.
It's a pretty common thing for people that are looked on by the masses as having really accomplished greatly. It's a pretty common thing for them to be labeled a bit of a loner or even stubborn and uncompromising, because you sort of have to get to yourself and make sure that you're in sync with you, and then everything else falls in place.
Right.
And if you get too much other stuff going on, then you jeopardize that alignment.
That's exactly
alignment is
exactly
everything.
What was going on.
Yeah. It's easy. And this conversation, this day today, helped many of you accomplish that. That's the best thing about gatherings like this, is that when you sit and listen to us ramble with the brilliance of everything that you all bring to this forum, it allows you to practice for a rather consistent period of time a vibration that is resonant with what's in your vortex. And so that's why you feel more hopeful, you feel more expectant, the energy gets moving, and momentum starts showing itself to you. And the part that you like the best, and we like it too, is the grid's filling in with more tangible things, which makes you feel more productive. We really will like it a lot when you get to the place that you feel productive when you move energy and affect your emotion and don't need the manifestation to show up in order to give you proof of your value or creative prowess. But we're not trying to talk you out of manifestations. We just think that they sometimes slow you down. And this is kind of what you're talking about. The manifestation of my dream is sort of slowing me down. Think about it a little. The manifestation of my dream is sort of slowing me down. So I think I'm going to go dream it a little more.
I'm going to dream it a little more. And we would say that to all of you relative to your planet in general. You're giving so much attention to the what isness that you are losing sight of your dreams. And when you are giving so much attention to what is, then you deprive yourself of the dream. And life is that experience between the isness and the dream. Have we conveyed that to you? That's where life is. You think it's the manifestation. It isn't. It's the journey to the manifestation. But then that manifestation bounces you to another and another and another and another. So, some questions. And you will do a good job of speaking on behalf of those who are listening in, because you're right there. Why would anyone want a business of any kind?
To make money. For a sense of accomplishment.
Well, that's certainly logical, and a sense of accomplishment is certainly a part of it. But why would you want to throw shiny beaded things into a wastebasket? Because it's something to focus upon. It's a way to measure your ability. It's a way to engage with others. In other words, it's fun.
Yes.
It is fun. So why would anyone want a business? Because it's fun. So let's talk about the money part of it. Why is making money exhilarating? Because it gives you opportunity to do more things. But do you want to make money, or do you want to provide an environment where a lot of people are making money?
I wanted to provide an environment where a lot of people are making money.
And which is more fun? You having money, or a whole bunch of people getting money from the enterprise?
A whole bunch of people making money.
So the upliftment of the business and the success of the business is not just for the money that comes to you. It's the money that moves around. It's the money that moves around like the energy moves around.
Right, and I think the money was always secondary when I started the business, and I think that's why it started being successful, because it was always the first part was to have fun, was to do it for the dream and to enjoy it.
Well, that's what we meant earlier when we said all of those business enterprises, before there's anything to worry about, the energy flows more.
Right, and when I started listening to you, I always had heard that, and I was really in line with that.
So have we convinced you, we're talking to all of you, but have we convinced you that everything is about vibration?
Absolutely.
And have we convinced you that your emotion is about vibration?
Oh, I'm so convinced on it. I just wanted to get back to it.
So when we talk about life wanting to be fun, or wanting to be in love, or wanting to feel good about this, when we talk about those emotions, what are we really talking about vibrationally or energetically? We're talking about alignment, aren't we?
Yes.
We're not talking about action. We're talking about alignment. So here's a big question that we're putting out to all of you. Do you believe that the path to alignment is through action?
No.
Or do you believe that the path to inspired action is through alignment?
Yes.
So isn't it obvious, when you have the experience that you've just lived, that before you were working on alignment and everything went really well until you had stuff to focus on, and then you started focusing on action instead of on alignment?
So it's back to alignment.
Yeah. Always. Every day when you get up.
Okay.
What is it that I want? We would begin by saying, today, no matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing, it's my dominant intention to look for things that I want to see. I'm wanting to ferret out fun experiences for myself, and I want to engage in fun experiences with others.
That's what stopped. I stopped meditating, I stopped getting aligned, and I just started getting bogged down and working 20-hour days. And
well, your action will carry you to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. And in fairness, much of the world measures itself against others who are acting. And so there are a lot of people that will say, well, you got to toe the mark, and you got to focus, and you got to concentrate, and you got to dig in, you got to work hard, and you got to be diligent, and you got to show up, and you got to be there, and you got to do these things, and you got to not do those things. And we are not denying that that sort of behavior can make you excel to some degree, but it's mediocrity at best. That you will never really excel in the way that you really want to until you make it about energy. And you will never understand making it about energy until you care about how you feel.
Right.
And you will never be successful at anything until you care about how you feel, and you're willing to do whatever whatever it takes to find that alignment first. And
Right.
that's what the grid is.
Alignment and
That's
then
what we're
action.
talking about when we're talking about the grid. We're talking about making my point of attraction matter more than anything else, because the action is going to come to my point of attraction because of the vibration that I've figured out how to conjure. Are you getting that? I'm going to conjure a vibration. I'm going to create a grid, and I'm going to practice it until I'm really good at it, and then I'm going to revel in the things that come to it. That's what deliberate creation is.